Hey everybody, this is Perch. I got a call from a friend, and I got some news that was bad news, right? Just very unfortunate, very sad news, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on this channel. I'm very confident that once the news is once the person is ready for the news to become public, I will certainly let you know. But I feel very saddened by this news, and you'll understand when it comes out. It's depressing news. It's sad news. It's also news that should galvanize the comic book community, and I'm doing air quotes here, to rally behind somebody who gave a lot to comics, who worked hard and was a trailblazer in many ways to comics. And I here's the part I can't get over. So I got this call and it depressed me, and then I got angry. And I got angry because there was a little sidebar in that call around a writer for Comics Beat who goes by the name of Corey McCreary, and I'll put it this way: just a piece of shit move by this writer. Um, I know I'm talking vague, and I'm really trying to respect the privacy of the individual in question, but it begs the question: why doesn't comic books? Why do the people in comic books who talk about family, who talk about community, who talk about an industry, who talk about a closed system, why don't they take care of each other? And let me say off the offset that some of you do, and God bless you, the people who do. The people who look out for each other, the people who try. I know a very, very wealthy comic creator, and there are not many of them, who has loaned legal services to others. I know you've heard interviews on this channel about people who have loaned money to comic creators for a variety of things. From personal things to complex things. Sometimes there have been comic creators who have loaned money to help with gender transition surgery, and people don't have to do that, but they do it because they're trying to be nice people. They're trying to help each other out because this is supposed to be a community, because that's what we're told. But the problem is the comics community really only seems to exist when it serves the people who say it. Now I'm being unfair, because there's plenty of people who do right by comics, who try and help people out, and their reward in all of it is basically just doing the right thing. They don't go off on a regular basis around how they're supposed to help people, or they're not looking for credit. They're looking to do the right thing. And good for them. And there's plenty of people out there, and those people deserve a huge round of applause, but they don't want it. They just want to be good human beings. But there's other people who never shut up about being part of the comics community. It's a small group, so watch yourself. Don't insult anyone. Don't ever talk bad about any of the comics. Don't. If one of us screwed you, if Tess or Heather or one of these people decided to stab you in the back online, or talk bad about you or insult you, or basically make your life a living hell, you don't dare talk bad about them, because it's a small community, and we need to protect our own. How come that only goes one way though? Here, as blunt as humanly possible, and I know this will strike a nerve for some people. Why is it that comics only seems to give a shit about people when they die? There's been plenty of comic creators who have been in very bad straits, who have been suffering, who've been battling with severe depression, who are maybe have drug issues, health issues, everything else. And when they die, oh my God, it's so sad. Oh, it hurts my heart that we lost this creator before their time. And you know what? It does suck that we lost a creator before their time. It absolutely does. But you know what would have been helpful is helping these people out when they were alive, when there's a chance that we can actually keep them alive. What about that? What about those situations? Huh? What about it? The comics community, comics family, comics taking care of their own is a bunch of bullshit. That line only gets used to basically shield, in many cases, rotten people from well-deserved criticism. Very well-deserved criticism. But look, point blank, the women at Marvel who went out and had milkshakes, yeah, they didn't deserve to be harassed and shit on. They did not. But that was also back in what, 2017? Move on. We've had comic creators who have battled horrible diseases, cancer, HIV. We've had people lose, basically, get Alzheimer's. We've had people have a stroke. We've had people lose the ability to draw, and that's their profession. We've had all that stuff going on, and yet we want to keep reminding everybody that once upon a time, back in 2017, some dumbass trolls made fun of people who went to have milkshakes at Marvel. And that is the worst, most horrible thing that could possibly happen to any creator in the history of the world. Please don't misunderstand me. Anyone who is shitting on those people for having a milkshake is a lousy person. But seriously, we're saying that situation is worse than somebody in comics losing, getting paralyzed, losing the ability to draw, having a stroke, getting cancer. That's worse. Give me a fucking break. As many of you who watch my channel and listen to these shows, I love Walt Simonson. I love Michael Golden. I love Bob Layton. I love Bill Loebs. I love Rachel Pollack. I love a number of really amazing creators out there. The reality is, if Bob Layton died tomorrow, and I don't even want to wish the bad juju on the world by saying that, but if Bob Layton, tragically passed away tomorrow, oh man, there would be people coming out of the woodwork on Twitter like, oh, we lost a legend. What a terrible tragedy that Bob Layton is no longer drawing Iron Man. It's like he was a legend. He was a gift to all comic art. Well, here's the amazing thing that you can do right now, motherfucker. Bob Layton is alive. And you know what? You could give him money and he will draw comics for you. And you will get to see more of that legend. He can do covers. He could, whatever. How about you take advantage of the fact that he is living? And then we can actually get comics from this living absolute legend. How about you give Rachel Pollack a comic? How about you give Bill Loebs a comic? Bill Loebs would like some money. He's not on the best of terms. It would be super awesome if you could give Bill Loebs some cash and let him do some comics, because god damn it, the guy is pretty great. Amazing creative mind, can do a pretty amazing story. Rather than gearing up for the ultimate, in memorial post that you're going to do for him when he passes away, how about we really, take advantage of the fact that he's alive and can tell some great stories? How about that, comics community? How about you try that? Because, yes, it was pretty shitty for a bunch of trolls and dicks to make fun of some women drinking milkshakes 5 years ago. But you know what? That was 5 years ago. And right now, we have a lot of people who are trailblazers who not only help define what comics are, but also, comics community, help bring about new, diverse characters. Rachel Pollack, one of the first more major transgender writers, worked on Doom Patrol. How about you help promote that Doom Patrol omnibus? Huh? How about you do that? Hey, it would be really great? How about you give Rachel Pollack a comic in your lineup? How about that? Rachel's a pretty goddamn good writer. She is. Did some pretty creative stuff. How about You people who like to constantly bleat and preach about various online hate groups, how about you actually help some people out who could use work rather than ignoring them while they're alive and then going, oh man, it's such a tragedy that they passed on. Oh, taken to us too soon. Fuck off with that. Help them. What the hell are you doing? I'm so pissed off at some of this behavior, and it is this gaslighting that happens to the customers about how absolutely amazing the some of these people are after they're gone, and then completely ignoring them when they're alive. Absolutely ignoring them. We've had some pretty major epic comic legends leave us in the last year. You know, one common thing amongst almost all of them? Yeah, they could still do work. They would like to do work. If you give them money, they will make comics. And so if the mainstream industry is not going to do it, if they're not going to help out these people who help trailblaze comics, all right, then here's my challenge out there to all those people who are out there doing crowdfunding, who are making six figures on a book. I'm dead serious with this. How about you reach out to a Rachel Pollack or a Bob Layton or a Walt Simonson? You are telling me that some of you people who are making 100,000, 150, 300, 400,000 on a crowdfunding book, you're telling me, you wouldn't want a Walt Simonson cover for your book? What the fuck is wrong with you? Go get it. If the mainstream comic industry, the family, is not going to support these people while they're alive, then it's time for us to do it. The amount of shade that gets thrown, let's call this shit out. The amount of absolute BS that gets thrown around to creators who frankly had it way harder. I'm sorry, if you are a transgender, LGBTQ, whatever you happen to be, if you were a LGBTQ creator in the 80s and 90s, you had a harder time of it than in 2022. Much harder. You know that old phrase, you stand on the shoulders of giants? Yeah, you guys stand on the shoulders of giants, people who went through a much tougher time to get their work out. It's time to give something back to the people whose shoulders you're standing on. Rather than some of this, I have to read this article and I see somebody spitting on somebody who, quite frankly, did more than they will ever do. Look, and it's not just about that. My God, we have some legends in comics, and I don't know about you, and maybe it's just me. I'm tired of reading these very heartfelt tributes to them after they die. When, if you talk to them, I've talked to several of these people. If you talk to them now, you find that they're available to do work. They would love to do work. You know what would give them a little boost in the day is if their comics community family actually tried to help them out. Because otherwise, this is not a family. It's a human shield. And that's what this feels like. It feels like a shield. It feels like anytime there's any kind of criticism, we very immediately can throw up we're part of a community family, but you don't live it. Help people out. You have the power. Several of you people, you're editors. If you're an editor, part of your job is to solicit and curate work. So, hey, editor over at IDW, hey, how about you help out some of these comic legends that you're more than happy to eulogize, but when they're alive, you can't give them the time of day. And by the way, some of these legends do not think very kindly of you because you blow them off. You don't respond to email. You're dismissive. You tell them things like, I don't know, your style doesn't really resonate with current modern viewers. I don't know. I mean, how else are we? How else are we going to sell 6,000 copies of this Star Trek book? I mean, my God, I mean, you can't put like a Walt Simonson or a Bob Layton or a Bill Loebs on a Star Trek book. I mean, we might not sell 6,000 copies of this title. But Jesus Christ, listen to yourselves. In a little bit of time, I'm sure I'm going to go into the news that's going to spark this thing, and you'll be as angry as I am. I guarantee you will. If they're not going to look after these people, then we need to. Full stop.